Hi, I'm Mrs. Miller, an ESL teacher with Huntsville City Schools. I'm really happy that you stopped by to watch this video about story maps. Happy learning! What is a story map? Well, a story map is an activity that uses a graphic organizer to help learn the most important parts of a story. Some parts of the story may consist of characters, a setting, the plot, which is beginning, middle, and end, and a story is going to have a problem and solution. Later, you will see a story map completed like the one right here. Why would you create a story map? One reason is to help with organization. It will help you organize information into smaller categories, which will help you remember the stories better. And that will help with retelling the story. Now, retelling is when you are able to list the important parts of the story. Another reason to create a story map is to help with writing. When you're making a story map, you are going to develop better writing skills. You will also develop better academic language. It's going to help you organize your thoughts and ideas. And then this is going to help you be able to share what you've learned and why you filled out the story map as you have. Let's talk about important parts to include in a story map. A great place to begin a story map is with the title of the story and the author. You also want to include the characters. Characters are the main players in any story. They can be people, they can be trees, flowers, they can even be animals. A character is any actor in the story who has thoughts and takes action. Another important part to include in a story map is the setting. That is simply where and when the story takes place. Some stories may have one setting, or they may move from one setting to another. You may list the seasons. Is it winter, spring, summer, or fall? And you may even list the time of day. Is it morning or night? Another important part to include in making a story map is the plot. This is where you're going to tell a little bit about the beginning of the story, the middle, and then what happens at the end of the story. It doesn't have to be a lot of information. It can be a sentence or two, just enough to help you with retelling. You also want to include what was the problem. This is where there is a conflict or a struggle in the story that goes on between the characters. And if you're going to list the problem, you also want to list the solution. And that is, how did the characters work together to solve the problem? Making a story map doesn't have to be hard. First, you want to read or listen carefully to the story. Then you want to list the story parts. Make sure you know who the characters are. What is the setting? How about the plot, which is the beginning, middle, and end of the story? And don't forget the problem and solution. When you're writing these down, you can use simple words or you can even draw pictures. And if it really helps, you can make simple sentences. It's really up to you. Make the story map fun. Be creative. In just a minute, you're going to see some great examples of some creative story maps. And last but not least, read the map to someone. Retell your story. That's what the story map is for, using our words. Here is a Tales to Go story map. It is just a simple graphic organizer. I filled in all the different parts. The first part I started with was the title and author. The story I listened to on Tales to Go app was The Three Billy Goats Gruff by Marsha Brown. I'm going to complete the story map and retell it to you as we go. The setting of the story was on a hillside. There was also a bridge that led from one side of the hills to the other. There were also 3 billy goats: Big Billy Goat Gruff, Middle Billy Goat Gruff, and Tiny Billy Goat Gruff. There was also a very scary troll. Now I'm going to fill in the plot. You'll see the beginning, middle, and end. In the beginning, the tiny billy goat crossed the bridge and the troll wanted to eat him. The tiny billy goat told him to wait for his bigger brother. And then in the middle of the story, the second billy goat crossed the bridge and the troll wanted to eat him. The second billy goat told him to wait for his bigger brother. And in the end, the big billy goat crossed the bridge and the troll wanted to eat him. The big billy goat crushed the ugly troll and tossed him into the river. And then I listed the problem where a troll threatens to eat all the billy goats if they cross the bridge to get to the grass on the other side. And the solution, do you remember it? Well, the smallest and middle-sized goats convinced the troll to wait for their big brother, and then the largest goat crossed the bridge and the troll planned to eat him, but the goat was too big and strong. The troll was crushed and thrown into the water. I hope you take time to listen to this story on the Tales to Go app, or even find the book.
Riley, I see you made a story map. What story did you use?
I used The Three Little Pigs by Eric Subin.
It's so creative. What did you include on your story map?
I included characters, setting, beginning, middle, end, problem, and solution.
What were the problem and solution of this story?
The problem was the wolf wants to eat the 3 little pigs, and the solution is the wolf couldn't blow down the brick house.
It is so creative. I love how you drew all the different things from the story. What did the cloud say?
The quotes are, "I'll huff and puff," and the next one is, "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin."
Thank you, Riley. That's an excellent story map. Sophie, you made a story map too. What was your story?
So I did Wonder by R.J. Policio.
What did you include on your story map?
So on my story map, I included characters, plot, problem, solution, and setting.
What was the plot of the story, Wonder?
In the beginning, Augie wanted to go to school with other kids. In the middle, Augie was bullied at school and at the Halloween party. In the end, Augie went to camp and stood up for himself.
Oh, I see it has a space theme. Why did you choose to make a space theme?
Because in the movie, in the book, Augie really liked space and he would wear this helmet around everywhere he went.
I am so impressed with both of your creations. Guys, great job.
Bye.
Story maps are fun. Create your own story map and share it in the comments below. You can keep it simple, or you can be as extremely creative as you want to be. You can make it like a house. You can just fill in the boxes. You can create ice cream cones and fill in information. You can have color, or you can just keep it simple. You really just want to use it as a tool to help you talk about stories and retell the story to someone. Again, I want to thank Riley for sharing with us her example of a story map using the story The Three Little Pigs. Also want to thank Sophie for sharing her story map of the story Wonder. I am so happy you watched this video about how to make story maps. I hope it helped you. If you ever need to watch it again, please do. I hope to see you again. And as always, happy learning.